What up, everybody in the YTBC? Big shout out to hashtag Comeback to Boxing, and a big shout out to Boxing United, and also a big shout out to my boy What's Blazing in Sports TV. If you were not subscribed to him, I urge you to go and check out his channel, show the boy some love and support, and subscribe. I will put a link in the description to his video where he, in my opinion, broke the story that, you know, Jeff Horn is asking for $5 million. I know there's other people who have made videos on it. He was the first one in my feed that I saw it, so I'm giving him the credit. So, Jeff Horn, motherfucker, why do you think you should get paid $5 million? Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. I agree with you. You should get paid $5 million to fight Terrence Crawford. But why in the fuck do you think you would get paid $5 million to fight Terrence Crawford? Now, let me go back to what I just said a little while ago. I do think that you should get paid $5 million to fight Terrence Crawford, and I think Terrence Crawford also should get paid $5 million to fight you. Okay? You beat Manny Pacquiao, and yes, it was a very controversial decision, but at the end of the day, on paper, you beat him. Okay? You have the belt. Terrence Crawford was undisputed at 140 pounds, is considered by many to be the number one pound for pound fighter that is currently active right now, and we want to see him in the conversation as far as becoming the undisputed champion of the welterweight division. The only way he can do that is by fighting the champions at welterweight, and being that you and him are fighting under Top Rank, that is the easiest fight for him to make at this time as far as a title shot at 147 pounds. So, do I agree that y'all should make that money? Yes. However, let's be realistic here. You are not a pay-per-view draw. And Terrence Crawford also is not a pay-per-view draw. Realistically, you guys would probably get paid $2 million a piece, if that. You might get lucky and get a little bit more, but let's be real, you're looking at about $2 million a piece. All right? Now, I am all about the fighters getting paid what they're worth. Unfortunately, in reality, it doesn't work that way. You don't get paid what you're worth because you get paid basically based on your popularity. If you can't put the ass in the seats, if you can't get the people intrigued enough to spend their money on a pay-per-view, then you aren't going to make that kind of money, whether you're worth it or not, unfortunately. So I really think Jeff Horn in this case, because this is something that I try not to do, okay, but in this case, I think Jeff Horn is pricing himself out. He's just picking something that's very unrealistic, because it's proven that Terrence Crawford is not a pay-per-view draw, and the only reason why Jeff Horn has any weight behind his name at all is because he fought Manny Pacquiao and was given the decision. And given that that decision was very controversial, there's a lot of people who are just not going to be willing to spend the money to see you fight Terrence Crawford. Okay? So just be realistic. You know people are not going to buy a pay-per-view to see y'all fight. If it ain't on pay-per-view, you can forget $5 million. Okay? Now, I just think that this should be, whatever the purse is, it should be a 50-50 split. Now, as far as Terrence Crawford is concerned, Terrence Crawford, let me holla at you real quick. Let me talk to you. All right? Jeff Horn is on some bullshit. Okay? Terrence, I take you to be a stand-up guy. Yeah, you had that little problem with that car shop, but hey, we all act out of pocket sometimes. So I ain't holding that against you. If this motherfucker thinks he's going to get paid $5 million to fight you, of course, I don't expect you to fight for peanuts. And I definitely don't think he should get paid $5 million to fight you unless you're getting paid the same. But I say, give him the lion's share. Just as long as it's reasonable. If it's a 60-40, 65-35, I would say go for it. Whatever the purse is. Because at the end of the day, I count that as the cost of doing business. Because once you take that belt off of that bitch, you will have the leverage that you need to make it up on the back end, to make it up on your next fight. So, I'm rooting for Terrence Crawford here. As far as Jeff Horn is concerned, I'm indifferent. I mean, yeah, it's terrible that Manny Pacquiao got robbed. I don't necessarily think that that's Jeff Horn's fault. I think that's just, it is what it is. His country gave it to him, and it's very unfortunate. But I think Manny Pacquiao should retire anyways, and I think Terrence Crawford should just go over there and strip Jeff Horn. Now, if Jeff Horn were to beat Terrence Crawford, and I mean actually beat him, not get a gift decision, then I'll give him his just due, just like I did with Billy Joe Saunders. But I find it hard to believe that he would be able to beat Terrence Crawford. Now, I do think that Jeff Horn will give him a good competitive fight, but ultimately, I think Terrence Crawford would be able to at least get a late stoppage TKO on Jeff Horn. But anyways, that's all I got to say about this whole situation. Jeff Horn is on some bullshit. I want to hear what Terrence Crawford has to say. Hopefully, this fight gets made. And if Terrence Crawford were to take it at a lower pay, I wouldn't blame him, because, like I said, once he gets his belt, that will give him leverage. And shoot, go ahead and put a rematch clause in there. That way, when you beat him, you get a second fight, and then you get to call the shots. And depending on how the first fight does, maybe you can make $5 million. But anyways, to all my subscribers, anybody watching my videos, or you just so happen to stump on this video, hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace.